Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a really interesting career arc, that of Brian Niccol.
Yeah, the incoming chairman and CEO at Starbucks. He starts pretty soon, right? September 9th.
That's the date, September 9th, 2024. And it's a pivotal time for Starbucks, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. They've got activist investors pushing. There's the whole unionization movement, and sales haven't been great.
Right, sluggish in the U.S. and China, which are huge markets for them.
Exactly. So bringing in Niccol, it makes sense. He's got this reputation, this track record.
Turning around big names, yeah.
Yeah.
Chipotle most recently, from 2018.
Yeah.
And Taco Bell before that.
He led Taco Bell from 2015 to 2018. And even before that, Pizza Hut, Procter Gamble. A solid resume.
So our goal today is really to unpack that journey.
Yeah.
What makes him tick? What are the strategies he uses?
And hopefully find some, aha moments for listeners, insights you can actually use.
Exactly. So let's start at the beginning, his background. Born in Philly, 1974.
Right. And interestingly, he didn't start out in business. He actually studied engineering at Miami University.
Engineering. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but apparently he got drawn towards marketing. Started taking business electives alongside the engineering stuff.
Ah, okay. So that blend of analytical and maybe creative thinking started early.
Seems like it. He graduated in 96, was in a fraternity, Phi Delta Theta, and then went on to get a top-tier MBA.
Where from?
University of Chicago's Booth School of Business. Really prestigious.
No kidding. And before the MBA, he already had some real-world experience.
Yep, an internship at Procter Gamble back in 95.
Yeah.
Which turned into a full-time gig after his bachelor's.
Doing what exactly at P&G?
Brand management. He worked on Thermacare, and get this, Pringles.
Pringles. Okay. So consumer goods, brand building, right from the start. Seems like a pattern.
Definitely seems foundational. Understanding what makes consumers tick.
So how does he get from Pringles to pizza? He joins Yum Brands in 2005.
Right, Yum. Brands the parent company of Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC. He came in as VP of Strategic Marketing for Pizza Hut.
Strategic marketing.
No.
And made an impact pretty quickly, I heard.
Yeah, there was this research study he led, identified fathers as a really important customer group for Pizza Hut.
Fathers. Interesting. You wouldn't necessarily think of them first.
Exactly. But apparently, targeting them helped boost sales and market share. It shows that kind of granular customer understanding.
And that led to a promotion.
It did. By 2007, just 2 years later, he was Chief Marketing Officer, CMO of Pizza Hut. Pretty fast climb.
Wow, yeah. And this is leading into the Great Recession, right? Tough time to be CMO.
Definitely a challenging economic climate.
Yeah.
But what's notable is how he leaned into digital even then.
What did that look like?
Well, they launched mobile ordering, get this, via text message and their website in January 2008.
Text message ordering in 2008, that feels really early.
It was quite innovative for the time. And then in 2009, they rolled out an iPhone app.
An actual app. How did that go?
Apparently really well, like 100,000 downloads in the first 2 weeks.
Whoa.
And it generated $1 million in sales in just 3 months. So that digital bet paid off.
Clearly a sign of things to come for his leadership style, focusing on digital. But it wasn't all smooth sailing at Pizza Hut, was it?
No, there was that experiment with the logo change. Remember the Hut?
Vaguely, yeah. That was 2009 too, wasn't it? Trying to be hip.
Exactly. Niccol even mentioned the texting generation, but the public reaction was not good.
Yeah. Sometimes those rebrands just don't land.
Right, and they pulled it back pretty quickly, which, shows an ability to pivot, I guess. Admit when something isn't working.
A necessary skill. Okay, so fast forward a bit. October 2011, he moves within Yum Brands over to Taco Bell.
Yep, as Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer. And again, he steps in at a tricky moment for the brand.
What was going on at Taco Bell then?
Sales had kind of stalled.
Yeah.
And they were still dealing with the fallout from a lawsuit about their beef quality. Consumer perception was shaky.
Right, I remember that. Sales dropped like 5% in one quarter because of it, so damage control needed.
Big time. And his strategy there was pretty bold. 2 main things happened in early 2012.
Okay, what were they?
First, breakfast. They launched a full breakfast menu, trying to capture a whole new time of day, a new day part.
Big move, taking on McDonald's and the breakfast giant.
Risky, but yeah. And second, they launched the Cantina Bell menu. More upscale, kind of aimed at the fast casual crowd.
Like competing with Chipotle, maybe?
That was the idea, yeah. Trying to elevate the brand perception a bit. And these moves worked.
How so?
Sales jumped. They saw an 8% increase for the fiscal year 2012. A real turnaround.
Wow, 8%. That's significant, reversing the decline and then some.
Absolutely. It showed he could innovate, understand shifting tastes, and execute big changes.
And that success obviously didn't go unnoticed.
Nope. January 1st, 2015, he's named CEO of Taco Bell.
Makes sense. He'd really proven himself there. And his focus stayed on, what,
Yeah.
millennials?
Yeah, very much focused on appealing to millennials and, looking ahead to the next generation of consumers, really cementing that turnaround.
Okay, so successful CEO run at Taco Bell. Then comes the big move in 2018, Chipotle.
Right. Replacing the founder, Steve Ells, which is always a huge deal. Lots of pressure, lots of eyes on him.
And he relocated the headquarters too, didn't he?
He did. Chipotle was based in Denver. He'd moved to Newport Beach, California for Taco Bell. And under his leadership, Chipotle HQ moved there too.
Controversial move sometimes, relocating HQs.
Can be. But the results during his tenure at Chipotle were, well, pretty stunning.
Let's hear them.
Revenue doubled. Profits went up almost 7 times.
7 times. Incredible.
And the stock price increased almost 8-fold. Just phenomenal growth.
What was driving that? What was the strategy? It wasn't just moving the HQ.
No, definitely not. It was a multi-pronged approach. He really doubled down on Chipotle being a culinary leader, focused on ingredients, preparation.
Food with integrity message, reinforcing that.
Exactly. And huge push on digital innovation. Online ordering, delivery, making it super convenient.
Which became even more critical during the pandemic, I imagine.
Absolutely perfectly timed.
Yeah.
In hindsight. Plus, introducing new menu items kept things fresh. And looking at international expansion.
And what about the people side?
That was key too. He increased salaries for the restaurant staff, expanded benefits, recognized that employee experience matters.
Happy staff, happy customers, that kind of thing.
Seems to be part of the philosophy. It was a really holistic turnaround. And he became chairman, too, in March 2020.
And so a very successful run at Chipotle, which brings us right up to the Starbucks announcement, August 2024.
Yep. Named incoming chairman and CEO, replacing Melody Hobson as chair and Laxman Narasimhan as CEO, effective September 9th.
And the market liked it.
Very much. Starbucks shares jumped, almost 25% on the announcement day?
Wow. High expectations then. His pay package reflects that too, right?
Oh, yeah. Big salary, $1.6 million base, a $10 million signing bonus, plus potentially $75 million in equity. They're betting big on him.
So he comes in with this back to Starbucks plan. What do we know about it so far?
Well, first there's the whole commuting thing. He's staying in Newport Beach.
Right. Super commuting to Seattle via corporate jet. That's raised a few eyebrows.
Understandably. Environmental concerns, optics. It's a discussion point. He's expected in Seattle at least 3 days a week, with a remote office set up too.
Okay. Beyond the logistics, what about the strategy itself? Starbucks has been struggling.
They have. The first quarterly results after his appointment was announced, Q1 2025, showed another dip. Global sales down 1%. 5th quarter in a row of decline.
Ouch. So what's the plan?
He's been pretty blunt, calling the results disappointing and saying a fundamental change is needed.
Fundamental change like what?
He specifically mentioned tackling the overly complex menu and looking hard at pricing.
Menu complexity is a common complaint, isn't it? Slows things down.
Exactly. And Starbucks themselves have said their previous strategy, cutting shop staff for automation, basically has failed.
So a reversal.
Seems like it. The plan involves hiring more baristas, increasing their hours, and scaling back some of the automation, like the Siren Craft system rollout.
Interesting. So less focus on pure efficiency, more on the experience.
Potentially. He did mention some early positive signs from things like handwritten notes on cups, bringing back ceramic mugs, things that increase dwell time.
Getting people to stay longer, feel more connected, makes sense for the brand.
Right. But it's not all positive vibes. He's also inheriting some baggage.
Like the union situation.
Yeah, particularly that store closure in Maine back in 2022. The NLRB ruled it was illegal union busting. That's a complex issue to navigate.
Definitely. So looking at his overall playbook across these different companies, what are the common threads?
Well, he's consistently seen as someone focused on delighting customers, driving innovation, especially digital.
We saw that early at Pizza Hut.
Right. Building culturally relevant brands. He did that effectively at Taco Bell with younger demos.
Yeah.
And just ensuring operational excellence, keeping the trains running on time, so to speak.
And a focus on people seems important too.
Yeah, both customers and employees. Nurturing a strong company culture comes up a lot. At Chipotle, improving that employee experience was a stated goal.
So what's his secret sauce then? How does he achieve this? He talks about self-belief.
He does. Believing in yourself, having grit. Apparently, he carries a notebook, like physically tracks his progress towards career goals.
Old school. I like that.
Yeah, very intentional. And he really emphasizes trusting his gut, his instincts.
That tingling feeling he mentioned.
Exactly. He cited the move from Taco Bell to Chipotle as an example of acting on that instinct.
And confidence seems key, too. Reports said during the Starbucks hiring process, he was basically like, I know what to do.
Yeah, calling the current challenges just a speed bump, that takes some serious confidence.
So if we were to distill some advice from his journey, maybe for younger people listening, what would it be?
Well, number one seems to be believe in yourself. Have that grit.
Okay. And set clear goals, track them, like the notebook.
Right. Don't just drift. Be intentional.
Ah.
And learn to trust your instincts, take action on them.
Even if it feels risky, like the Chipotle move probably did.
Exactly. Calculated risks based on that gut feeling.
Yeah.
And project confidence.
Fake it till you make it, or just genuine self-assurance.
Maybe a bit of both, but the confidence seems real. Also, clearly, embrace digital innovation. Stay ahead of consumer trends.
That seems non-negotiable today.
Totally. And finally, that dual focus. Always think about the customer experience, but also really value and invest in your employees.
That blend of skills is interesting, too. The engineering background and the marketing and business savvy.
Yeah, that combination of analytical rigor and market intuition seems powerful. He can break down problems, but also understand brands and people.
And moving successfully between Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Chipotle, all different vibes, but within the same broad industry, shows adaptability.
Huge adaptability. And a willingness to keep learning, applying core principles in new contexts.
So wrapping this up, Brian Niccol's career is quite the case study in leadership, isn't it?
Absolutely. From Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Chipotle, major impact at major brands, driving big strategic shifts.
And as he steps into Starbucks, that core advice he follows, believing in yourself, trusting your gut, seems more relevant than ever.
Definitely will be crucial for navigating the challenges there. It's about that confidence to act decisively.
So for you listening, maybe think about that. What's a piece of advice, maybe even one that sounds cliche, that really resonates with you?
Yeah, and how can you actually apply it? Like Niccol seems to do with his self-belief and goal tracking. Take inspiration from that journey.
And maybe it prompts you to think more about different leadership styles, especially in such a fast-moving industry like food and beverage.
Lots to chew on there. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.